The most important question I got was, what is your legacy? Not a material legacy, but if life stops now, how do you want to be remembered? What is your frequency legacy? The Phoenix Frequency podcasts are results from that question. When all seemed burnt in your life, the fertile ash of a phoenix is filled with compassion, love, forgiveness, empowerment, intuition, wisdom, generosity, creativity, resilience, a balance of an evolution and involution, what is needed to rise. I am Nienke van Bezooijen and I live my Phoenix frequencies. On a weekly basis, I share my insights, my resources, and I have guests who phoenix themselves. If it resonates to you, you're welcome to rise. Welcome to the Phoenix Frequencies. Today I have a special guest with me. It's Nariman Hamo. She's currently living in the Netherlands. She's a polyglot and meditation teacher as a contribution to peace. I'm very happy to have her with me because her Phoenix story is a real inspiration. Welcome, Nariman.
Thank you, Nienke, and thanks for having me.
It's just a joy to explore your journey together because you did some Phoenix stuff. You're now in the Netherlands, but not where you're born. Can you share a bit? What was your life before?
So I was born and raised in Aleppo in Syria, and I come from a Kurdish background. My father has been activist for a long time, so I did some activism in the Kurdish arena, and which was also dangerous and not very safe to do in the Syrian context. And when I just graduated, I studied IT, artificial intelligence. I studied also Japanese. I dreamed about going to Japan to study robotics. So I had a lot of plans, but unfortunately, when the revolution started in Syria, it was not possible and not safe anymore to stay there. So I had to flee with my parents to Turkey. And actually, I was the one who convinced them to do that. And then in Turkey, I had to start from zero, new language, new place, and had to start from scratch. So I did. And luckily, I joined a Syrian young group of activists, and we established an organization where we worked on the Syrian peace process, women inclusion and civil society inclusion in the peace process. And it was a very deep learning experience for me. I learned a lot, but it was also like an intensive course. I've been into conferences, into meetings. It shaped me a lot. I gained a lot of skills, people skill, technical skill, management skills. I traveled a lot. I met a lot of people, and I learned a lot about peace building, freedom, and myself and the world. It was amazing, but it was also tiring. Unfortunately, due to a safety reason, I had to flee to the Netherlands at the end of 2017, where I had to start again from zero, new country, new language. So I didn't really have the time to process all of what happened. It was a long journey, but this journey makes me who I am today, and I have no regrets.
What I hear in you, you're a very committed person. You were born that way. And even going to Turkey and then going to the Netherlands, it's quite a journey. But when you came to the Netherlands, what happened in how you could form and shape your life here?
So when you are here, you come to the Netherlands as a refugee, you are expected also to learn the language, to integrate. It was, for me, there was this huge question, like, how do I translate my skills and my knowledge and all the languages I know, the experience I have, and also translate my desire to be the best of me, no matter where I am, I have that desire. So I bring that with me, with all the luggage and the pain of the experience that I had, and also the stress and the accumulated tiredness, in my system. And I was facing this huge question of like, how do I translate my skills in this new context? So it was again establishing myself and my network in this new place. So it's a very difficult and taxing process and task. So instead of taking the time to process everything I had before, I am faced with a huge task, and that was extra exhausting for me. And I did my best. After 1 year, I had a job in the Netherlands. I was speaking the language, but 3 years, I think, after I arrived, I had a burnout. Finally, I had a burnout, which I am very grateful to that burnout, because it forced me to take the time to process everything and to look deeper, extract all the lessons learned and the knowledge and the juice of all of this experience. I was running and doing my best my whole life, non-stop, until my burnout. So I was almost 33 years old.
And body says no, eh?
Yes, because I had even a couple of months before I was declared, officially burned out. And I laugh about it because it's not a sad story for me, to be honest. I was hospitalized, thought I had a kidney stone. I had severe pain, and then we ended up discovering that there was no stone. It was intensive muscle pain, problem in my shoulder, and I went to physiotherapy. So it was a couple of months before the official burnout. I had also extensive physical pain. So it ended up to the big bang,
I think it's cumulated in the body before the mind understands, gets to this big bang point.
Yeah, and to be able to burn out, that's a blessing in our system. I'm so grateful to my system, to my body, that was telling me, warning me. Of course, there are other symptoms like the toxic relationships I had. Life was so difficult. Everything was a task, and there was a long list of things that I needed to learn, to cycle, to better, let's speak better Dutch, learn about everything in the Netherlands, that I needed for my daily life. So
do it all, isn't it? And if you're a committed person and want to do it all, it's around the corner, no matter what country you live in, perhaps.
Yeah, I think we are ourselves. We don't change. We grow and we learn and we gain skills, but our authentic core essence is the same. And I think if I look to my life from the outside, I had several lives in this life. How I looked, what I spoke, where I lived, my daily life details were so different in at least these three countries I lived in. My essence was the same. I am the same. The core was always there. When I was 17, I used to meditate, in my own way. And I had this funny question, if I lived in another lifetime, like, who would I be? What would my essence look like? I was 17 when I was asking myself this question. So I was still me, And then I thought, oh, maybe I would ride a horse instead of a car. Maybe I will wear something else. But what are the core values, I was always looking in my life to answer that, address that question.
I think it's wonderful. And it's a real essence from who you are. Just going and reinvent yourself. It's like jumping, isn't it?
Yes. I did a couple of jumps and I took several risks in my life, just convincing my parents to leave Aleppo before it's too late to leave the country, which is now the case. It's difficult to leave conflict zones. I went to the unknown. And the thing I learned also, you might be scared. We might be afraid of the unknown. And that's a very normal thing to have as a person, as a human being, But it shouldn't stop you from being or becoming or trying to be yourself, It shouldn't stop you from becoming your true self or what you want to make out of your life. Before I come to the Netherlands, I became 30, and in my birthday, I did a paragliding jump. And I thought, flying always starts with a jump. And you might be scared and stressed, but when you do it, you are just flying. You are free. You are pretty peaceful. And that's what I experienced when I was in the air. It was nice to experience that. And I wanted to have more of this, in my life.
And you created it, and now you're here doing what you do. What I like about you is that you really stepped up and longing for learning new things and growing, and take your paraglide jumps in many areas of your life. The growth, I also know from our previous conversation, you love plants as well, isn't it?
Yes, and actually I remember that I've seen a lot in my childhood with my grandmother, And these things stay with you. When I came to the Netherlands, also after my burnout, especially, I was more in nature. That's one of the things that helped me. I was meditating more. I was taking walks in nature. And I wanted to bring more of the nature element to my home. And I started educating myself about plants and bringing more plants and learning and doing, learning by doing because, there were sadly some plants that I couldn't help to survive. But then I connected to nature and just gardening and taking care of plants is beautiful. It's when you have a plant, you are breathing the oxygen that is produced by that plant, and that plant is processing the CO2 that you produce. So we are one. We are part of this beautiful world, and you just need to connect. So I am a plant mom for a while, and I am continuously learning about gardening and growing my own vegetables. That's a healing thing, and also very joyful. Every day I look at my flowers in the garden, and I'm like, there is a warm, happy feeling that comes to my heart. It's just like the bright colors are so beautiful. You cannot ignore that, the birds outside, they are so beautiful. I enjoy that every single day. And at the end of every day, I am grateful for these things. I list them in my heart or on my notebook. And I feel very satisfied at the end of the day, that I did my best, everything I can. And I can sleep very well,
That's lovely.
And in general, I have no regrets, if I die today, and I have this feeling for several years already. If I die today, I have no regrets because I did my best. It doesn't have to be perfect. I did my best for my country, for my people, for my family, for myself, and I continue doing that. So what can I ask more of myself? It's enough, I don't have to have another burnout. I am already doing my best, but with a lighter feeling, I am doing a lot still. But that heaviness is gone, I'm just grateful. And if I die today, I already did everything I want or I can. And that's enough,
I hear a phoenix frequency there. What's the phoenix for you?
The phoenix for me, being our self or our authentic self can be a very difficult thing to realize or to arrive at, It can be also when you are your authentic self, it's the easiest thing you can do. So phoenixing is just shedding off everything else, all of the toxic things, all the stress, all the layers, shedding off all of these, everything else, but rising as your authentic self. So phoenixing is the process that, help you to become the easiest form of yourself. Easy, because you don't feel like you're betraying yourself by becoming who everyone else wants you to be, or what any role that you have to play in your life, or roles, in your life. So it's very easy from the core of you, your essence.
If you dare to jump there, that's what I can say.
Yeah.
Not everybody dares to shed off.
It's very scary, but
Rewarding.
But it is very rewarding.
Yeah.
Why not take the chance? We are granted the gift of life by being the best version of ourselves and take the risk. Life took a risk to grant us this chance, so why not take the chance and believe in ourselves and take the jump and try your best? I think that's my expression, at least, of my way of expressing my gratitude to the gift of life. That's the least answer you can give to the gift of life, I think.
Wonderful, I get you. And now I know you're working for the government in the Netherlands, but you're also a meditation teacher. Is that a ripple effect from everything you learned, your jumps, your burnouts, your rising? Is that where you want to go in the future?
That's where I am. And then what I want to do more even in the future. In the year of my burnout, it was still COVID, at the end of 2020, I had December, actually, I had my burnout. So for a year, I took time off and I was meditating, different types of meditation, doing yoga, doing, taking care of houseplants, and also being in nature as much as possible. And at almost the end of the year, I came across this teacher training with One Giant Mind. I also took a chance. It was very funny also. Again, it was like, okay, what can I lose? And I was also, taking some coaching sessions with a coach. So I was also trying to discover again what brings me joy, what are my strengths. Again, how can I translate what I have, what I know, to something that is useful again to the world, because I want to have a legacy. And then I joined this course. I was amazing because it kind of helped me really come home to myself and realize that everything I did before was to reach here. I did peace building in the traditional way, but now I can do it in a different way, which is very important. That brings me joy because, being in Geneva and in international conferences and in dialogues and all of that, it was a very stressful experience for me and very, very with training. And I'm glad I did it. But now I want to continue doing that in a way that speaks to my heart and brings me joy. I just enjoy doing, meditation. I just enjoy teaching people. I just enjoy bringing some awareness and consciousness and peace and freedom through meditation to other people. I hope one day I can only do that, coaching people and teaching meditation, because there is nothing different, Nienke, about what I'm doing. It's always only growing and adding up, and it's more close to my authentic self. So teaching meditation is my peace initiative, and it's my way of building freedom and peace. And I learned that social well-being cannot be reached until we work on individual well-being. That's where we need to start. This is the conclusion and the essence of all of what I did, and that brought me here today. My biggest wish is that my experience, my life, my teaching skills can be of value to someone else.
I think you're a polyglot in many languages, the language of reinventing yourself in your frequencies, in your literally speaking a language and radiating all language from inside out as a ripple effect. I love you for it.
I want to say that we are alive, and if anything, but time is the only thing actually we have. So there is no hurry, no need to stress or to rush about anything. I wish that everyone can take their time and take the space. Claim your space by being yourself, your authentic self. And don't be shy about taking what is, your birthright. I am sure that if we make our internal reality that the way we desire, our external reality will follow. We don't become free or peaceful. We are free and we are peaceful. We just need to see that. I wish this for everyone, for you, for every one of your audience.
I just loved all you shared. So to be continued, ripple it out.
Thank you for having me.